Okay, welcome back everyone to our final session of this year's RFID DevTalks Community Day. So as I mentioned, this final session is pre-recorded, so I'm just about to stick on the recording. So hopefully you all enjoy this session. For this particular session, please feel free to put in questions as and when they pop into your mind into the questions box. We don't have anyone here from the RFID BU who can answer those questions. I'm going to do my best to personally answer them in the meantime, and any that we can't get to, we will forward on to the team and get back to you in a few days' time. So with all of that said, let me begin playing the recording. I hope you all enjoy this final session, and we'll see you in just a moment.
Hi everyone, good afternoon and good evening. My name is Pramod. I'm part of Jibra Data Capture and Solutions team. I'm primarily working on SDK and demo tools for RFID product. So today I'll be talking about 123 RFID desktop tool. So firstly, I'll start with few slides where I would describe about 123 RFID desktop features and the UI screens. And then end of the slides, I'll be showing a live demo of the tool. So first let's start with the slides. The RFID desktop is basically a Windows application, which is a setup and optimization tool for RFID devices, Jibra RFID devices. Using Ubuntu desktop, we can easily deploy Jibra RFID devices, which includes fixed reader and handheld readers. If we talk about the devices which Ubuntu RFID desktop supports, it covers fixed readers and handheld readers. Under fixed readers, we have three categories. It supports FX 7500, FX 9600, and ATR 7000. And the second category is handheld readers. So handheld readers, we support RFD 40 and RFD 90. So this is a brief overview about the one to the extra application UI screens. So we have a discover screen where we can where user can discover readers over subnetwork. Then if the devices are connected over USB or if the devices are paired on the Bluetooth stack. Once the devices are discovered, we can use the connect option to connect those devices. Once the devices are connected, we can use the read screen to start the inventory, and we can go to summary report. We can go to the summary report option, and we can see the summary report about the tag data. So we have other options in the read window, which I'll be covering in upcoming slides. Okay, next we have a scan window. So scan window is specifically applicable only for the handheld devices, which supports scanner functionality. Okay, let's come to configuration. We have a configuration UI where the UIs allow user to load a save configuration into the reader, or we can also create a offline configuration and load those save those configuration into a file and load those configuration later into the connected devices. Okay, next UI functionality is firmware. So let's suppose if you have a device and you want to update the firmware, then firmware tab allow user to update the firmware over 20 devices, max to 20 devices. Okay, I'll start with the UI screen. So first is discover and connect. So let's suppose you have a few devices over USB and few devices connected over within the subnet. So we can uh, run one to the desktop application. So this is the very first screen, welcome screen, which user can see, and then user can click on find reader. Once user click on find reader, it discovers the devices. Also, user can manually type the IP address of the device which user want to connect, and then you can click on connect button. So device will be connect to the one to the desktop and will be shown in the connect tab, which I will show in the next slide. Okay, let's suppose if user has already connected to few devices in onto the desktop. So this particular list view will show us all the previously connected devices. So user can select the devices and click on connect button and connect those devices again. Now we have a connect and discover functionality in the connect tab also. So once user goes to connect tab, we have a option called find readers. User can click on find readers. All the available devices will be shown in the available reader list. If in the image we can see we have few IP devices, and then we have a Bluetooth devices available. And user can click on connect button. Once user will click on connect button, the connected device will be listed in connected reader list. Okay, so we have next UI window, which is read window. So once we have a connected devices, user can go to the read tab, and user can start the inventory by clicking on start inventory button. So if you can see here, after clicking on start button, we can see the tag, all the red tag will be listed in the data view list. Okay, also you can download this particular data tag report from the export button. So if you click on export button, it will give us an option to download the report, the tag data report. Okay, next section in access operation. So let's suppose if we have started the inventory and we have the tag listed in the data view, we can double click on a particular tag. Once you double click on particular tag, it will opens up a edit tag details window where we can perform access operation and we can locate a particular tag. So access operation window covers reading and writing the EPC, TID, and user memory. So similar way, we have a tag locate window. Let's suppose if you in store you have lots of tags and you want to locate a particular tag, you can double click on the particular tag. You can go to the tag locate window and you can start the locating a tag. So it will show how close how close the reader is from the tag. So it will give us a percentage accuracy percentage here. Okay, next is a scan tab. So scan tab is specifically is applicable only for RFD 40 Premium Plus and RFD 90 handle devices, the devices which support the scanners. So this scan tab, user can click on start scan button and can scan particular barcode. The scan barcode will be displayed on the data view here. Okay. Next UI configuration window. Next UI window is the configuration window, where we have online configuration, offline configuration, and we have a option to load a particular saved configuration to a particular connected devices. So online configuration is the configuration where we can perform where we can perform the configuration on the connected devices. Let's take example of COM49. This is a USB connected device. So if user connects on this particular device, it gives us a configuration window where we have all the configuration options here. So user can once user click on the particular reader, so we'll have all the configuration options here. So user can change the region by going to the region tab. User can set the antenna power and user can change the antenna settings. Similar way, we can set the trigger. We can specify when to start the inventory, when to stop the inventory. You can set the GPO settings, and like that we have other configuration options here which I'll be describing in the live demo section. Okay, I'll come back to load save configuration later. First, I'll describe out the offline configuration. Okay. So one to the desktop gives us a very powerful feature where you can still create you can still configure a reader if the reader is not connected. So let's suppose if we have a RFD 40 device which is not connected to the system currently, but we can still use the offline configuration. We can go to offline configuration and then we can configure that particular device. Let's suppose if you want to configure the region, if you want to configure regulatory settings, we can go ahead and do the configure the settings, and we can save those settings into a particular file. And later when the device is connected, we can apply those settings to the reader. And how we'll apply those settings to the reader? We have to use load and save configuration option. So when you connect it to the reader, we will have an option here, load the save configuration to the reader. Click on that particular button. It will pop up a window where you can select the saved configuration file and you can apply the configuration to the reader. Okay, last but not the least, we have a firmware update tab where we can update up to 20 devices. We can update up to 20 devices which will be of the same type. So same type means as one desktop supports fixed reader as well as handheld devices. So at a time we can update 20 devices which will be of same type. Either it will be a fixed reader or it will be handheld devices. So user can go to the firmware tab. All the devices will be listed in the firmware update tab. So user can select and deselect the devices and then click on update firmware. The update firmware button will pops up a particular window where you can select the firmware file and can start the firmware update. Okay, so that's all about the one to desktop overview. Now I will start with a live demo. Okay, when we run one to the desktop application, this is the first window which user can see the welcome screen. Okay, what all operations we can perform the welcome screen? User may wants to find the readers, all the readers connected to the PC, or maybe the readers within the local subnet. So user can click on find readers and then discover all the readers. So I'll click on find readers later. First, I'll describe the below two features because once we click on find readers, it will find the readers and it will directly go to the next window. Okay, so let's suppose if we have a particular device and we already knows the COM port or the IP address of the device, so we don't need to click on find address. We can directly select the reader type here. Let's suppose if I want to connect to a particular fixed reader or a RFD 90 or RFD 40 device, we can select option. We can type the IP address. And then we can click on connect button. So we can connect the device by typing in the manual IP address also. Okay, the next section is the recently used reader. So if we can see here, we have all the recently used reader list here. So user can select and select the devices and click on connect button. It will connect all the devices if they are already available. It will connect all the devices. So I'll start with the find reader first. So we'll click on find reader. Okay, as we can see, we have all available readers. So we have 4 IP readers and then we have one USB device attached to my PC. So reader level available readers will list all the available devices and then we can click on connect button and connect particular device. Let's suppose if I want to connect a USB device. So the device got connected and the device is listed in the connected reader list. We'll talk about more option on connect tab. So once we move to the connect tab, we'll have more options in this particular one to the desktop application. Like we have connect, read, scan, configure, and firmware tab, which we already discussed in the slideshow. Okay, now we have the similar option what we just seen in the welcome screen. The same options are available here also. User can manually connect a reader by selecting the reader type and typing in the IP address. So let's suppose I'll try to connect a FX reader. So we can see if the reader is online or reader is available in the network. So we can ping the reader and the status is success. So it's mean reader is available. So we can click on connect. We'll wait for reader to connect. So reader got connected and started listing in connected reader list. Okay, so once reader is connected, we can start reading the tag, or we can start the inventory either by clicking on read button here, or you can directly go to read tab. So this is the read UI screen where we can start stop the inventory. We can select a particular reader to start the inventory with. We can increase the antenna power level here, or if you want to activate a fast read profile, we can select on this. So this fast read profile is specifically available only for the handheld devices. This is not applicable for fixed reader. If you can see here, we have a fixed reader here. So we don't have this option available as of now. Okay, let's start the inventory in both readers. We can click on, we can check those readers and then we can start the inventory. So as we can see, I've started the inventory and we can see the tag, all the red tag started listing in the grid view, tag grid view. We can stop inventory by clicking on stop button. Okay, so the other options available in the read window is like we can do some access operation. Also, we can locate the tags. And also, if you want to filter a particular tag, or sorting is also available in this particular grid. Fine. Okay. I'll just quickly clear the. Okay, I'll quickly show the access operations now. So to open up perform the access operation, we can click on the particular tag on which you want to perform the access operation. So okay, fine. As we can see, we have a access operation window where we can perform EPC, TID, and user memory read and write operation. We can see the EPC memory has a particular data here. We can see the EPC memory data here. Then TID memory data we can see here, and the user memory data we can see here. We can perform a write operation on the user memory. So write was successful, and we can read it back. Let's suppose I remove this, we can read it back. As we can see, we have read the data successfully. Okay, I'll move to the next functionality, tag locate. So let's suppose if you want to locate a particular tag, how much far the tag is located from the reader. So we can click on start, it will start locating the tag. So let's suppose if I'll move my reader away from the tag, so we can see the percentage is going down. And if I'm coming closer by, we can see the percentage increasing. So if you want to stop the tag locating, you can click on stop, it will stop the tag locating. Okay, well, I think that's all about the read UI. We'll move to scan tab. So this scan tab, if we can see here, we have two different devices connected. One is cricket, one is RFD 40, and another is it's RFD 40 31, which is a RFD 40 Premium Plus device. It's a handheld device, and other we have a fixed reader. And scan tab will list only the handheld reader RFD 40 Premium Plus device. So, okay, you can perform the scanning from here. You can click on start scanning. We can scan a particular barcode and we can see the data here. So once data is available, we can export the data by clicking on the export button. It will export all the data into the Excel sheet. Uh, we'll move to the configuration part now. So, okay, under configuration tab, we have two different kind of configuration. If the reader is connected to the one to the desktop, we can directly select that particular reader and we can start configuring the reader. And let's suppose if we have few RFD 40 Premium Plus or RFD 40 and 90 devices which are not currently connected to the system, but uh, you want to configure those device with some configuration. What we can do is we can go to the offline configuration. We can select the device type. Let's suppose RFD 40 device, we have different categories. We have the Premium Plus device where we have the scanner attached, where and then we have a premium device um, uh, where we have the RFID functionality with the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi enabled. And other we have a standard RFD 40 device where we have RFID where we have RFID functionality and you can connect through USB. So you can select a particular device. Let's suppose if I select Premium Plus device, so after selecting the device, we will have option uh, to configure the device. We'll have like RFID settings, then scanner settings, general settings, and load and print. Okay, so RFID device, RFID settings, if you go to inside the RFID settings, we'll have the option to configure regulatory settings, tag data reporting settings, advanced configuration. Advanced configuration will have the query setting, the query param, then we have filter settings, and then we'll have trigger configuration. So I'll quickly create a configuration. Let's suppose I will try to change the region of the device. I'll quickly check what is the current region in the device. So this is our handheld device which has country code AND. I'm not sure what is the full form. I can go to online settings and check. So region tab. Andorra. Okay. So currently it is the configure region is Andorra. So we can go to offline settings and create a configuration file where we can change the uh, region to Oman, and also we'll try to change few more settings. And once you are done with the configuring the offline settings, we can go to load and print. We can save the settings to a file. And we can save the settings to a configuration file. We have few more option here. We can create a staging file, like we can create a fc.dat file with the configuration where we can select a firmware. Let's suppose if you want to configure the reader with some configuration as well as you want to update the firmware also to those devices. So while creating the configuration file, we can select the firmware file to update the devices, and we can create the dat file to load it later once the reader is connected. Then we have other option like email configuration. So email configuration will have the configuration file directly attached to it. You can send this configuration file through email. Then we have print and export summary report. It will open all the change. It will show all the change parameter into a HTML format. So you can see here we have changed the region to Oman, and then link profile, and then we have set some query options here. So these are the settings we have changed and we have saved into a configuration file. Okay, I'll go back to the so now we have created offline configuration file. We can load the connected readers. We can load the particular configuration to this particular connected readers. As we can see, currently the region is once again. The current configured region is Andorra. When we configure when we load the saved offline configuration file to this reader, the region will get changed and other settings also will get applied to the reader. Okay, so the saved region to this particular configuration file is Oman, and we have changed few more parameters. So we'll see how it works. So I'll select the file and then I'll try to load the file. So it started loading the file to the reader. Okay, now the device is rebooting. Okay, so device got rebooted. We can go to the connect tab. We can see the device is available here. After reboot, we can connect back the device. And we can see here country code Oman. So it has changed the region. We'll see other settings also. We can see the region here now. It's Oman, and then we have configured few more settings here, which got applied to the reader. So that's all about the offline configuration. I'll move to online configuration now. Online configuration means the configuration which you can perform over the connector readers. Okay, once you click to the reader, we'll have two options. One is edit configuration on the reader. Another is load a saved config file to reader, which I just showed how we can load a offline configuration file to a particular connector readers. Now we'll go to the edit configuration on the reader. So once you click on edit configuration on the reader, we'll have configuration tabs here. In general settings, we have beeper options, and we can set the Bluetooth settings and other functionalities. Then we have region. If you want to change the region, we can select a particular region and we can click on set. So it will change the region to the device and you can connect back the device. Okay. In the next, we have antenna configuration. If you want to change the antenna power or if you want to change the RF mode, we can select a particular RF mode. It will get applied to the reader instantly. We have a trigger option where you can define a behavior, how to start the inventory, when to start the inventory, and when to stop reading the tag. Next, we have a prefilter UI where you can define a particular prefilter. You can define which tag to read and behavior of reading the tag. You can define. Then we have advanced settings. We have few more advanced settings where we can define the behavior of how the query parameters will behave on which session you want to perform the read. And then finally, we have a scanner configuration. If you have connected to a Premium Plus device which has a scanner attached, you will have a additional setting scanner configuration here where you can change the symbology setting. Let's suppose if you want to reading a tag, so which type of tag you want to read and what type of data it will read, you can perform those settings under symbology settings. Then we have few more system settings which you can enable from here. Okay, in the configuration, the final tab we have is save configuration. In the save configuration, we have an option to save currently applied configuration. We can save it to PC, click on save configuration, give the path and then you can save that particular configuration. So this configuration, what is currently loaded into the reader, will be saved to the PC. Okay. Now let's suppose if you have changed some power level or some trigger settings and you want to save those settings permanently to the reader, you can use save to the reader option. Print save parameter report. So if you have done some configuration settings to the reader, you can click on and you want to view those settings, you can click the parameter report button and you will see the currently applied settings to the reader. So this will give us a report about all the settings currently applied to the reader. Finally, if you want to reset the reader to the factory, you can click on reset button. It will reset the reader to the factory defaults. We'll move to firmware tab. The firmware tab allow us to update the firmware devices up to 20 device, but the only thing is those 20 device should be a same type. It should be a same reader type. So let's suppose if I selected a fixed reader and a USB connected device together and we click on update firmware, it gives us a pop-up message here. The selection is allowed only for similar group of readers. Please select similar group of readers. So we have to select either the fixed reader or handheld devices. So I'll take example of handheld device. I'll click on update firmware. We can browse the firmware file and we can click on continue. If I'll click on continue, it will start updating the firmware. But as it takes time, so I'll just skip that part. Okay, so that's all about the all the functionality available onto the desktop. Thanks for joining the session.
Okay, and that brings us to the end of our RFID DevTalks Community Day. So I just want to say a quick thank you to all of our attendees for taking the time to attend this day of sessions. We really hope that you found some benefit in these sessions and that it was worthwhile in attending. As I've mentioned, any questions that we didn't get round to see, we will explore all of those questions, compile them and get back to you in a couple of days' time. If any questions come to mind in the meantime, there is always our developer portal and our email developer@zebra.com. I'm just having a quick look in the questions box and it doesn't seem that there are any questions for this session in particular. So with that, I think I am going to bring this day to a close. I want to thank you all once again and to Stacey and Priyanka for their help organizing and marketing this event. It's been a great success in my mind. So thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day or your afternoon or your evening, perhaps, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.